You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Mora versus Platt.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. Mora, you opened your case to prove that the defendant, Mr. Platt, is your 3-year-old daughter, Anaya's biological father, in hopes that he will acknowledge her and finally sign her birth certificate. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Platt, you say you refuse to be legally responsible for a child you seriously doubt is yours. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Mora, explain why having Mr. Platt on your daughter's birth certificate is so important to you.
Okay, Your Honor. It's important to me, you know what I'm saying? My daughter deserves to have her father on her birth certificate. You know what I'm saying? I've come from a broken family. My dad was never in my life. He's not on my birth certificate either. And my daughter deserves the best, you know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm here today, because I'm gonna make sure that his name is gonna be on that birth certificate.
Because you have no doubt he is the biological father.
There's no doubt in my mind, Your Honor.
But you do have doubt, Mr. Platt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain.
Before we even met, like, she was living with somebody else at the time.
So when you met her and you all started talking, she was living with somebody else?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, come on.
Yes,
let's state the facts. So how did your relationship begin?
We met on a little website, you know what I'm saying? I was with my ex. I explained to Mr. Platt that I was with him, I lived with him. He was like, okay, cool, like, we're gonna talk, whatever. He agreed to it, you know what I'm saying? And we ended up meeting up. We went for a walk in the park, you know what I'm saying? And from there, like, we ended up going like maybe every weekend or every other weekend, and it led from there.
And then you all started a relationship?
Yeah, after
you broke up with the other guy?
After about a month, yes.
And
I was
so
still
at that point, you moved out of the house with the other guy?
No, I was still living with him. Yes, I was still living with him.
And were you intimate with the other guy and Mr. Platt at the same time?
Not at all. Not at all.
Because we get a lot of people that come into this courtroom and say they were broken up, so they couldn't get pregnant because they were broken up.
That's why I have the doubt, you know what I mean?
And
because she would always go back and forth, and then...
You kept going back and forth between the two men, right. Mr. Platt and then the ex.
Right.
Back and forth.
Correct, Your Honor.
Some point you realize you're pregnant. Are you living in the house with the other man when you realize you're pregnant?
Still, maybe for about like 2 weeks. And then once 2 weeks was up, I ended up moving in with my mom.
So you find out you're pregnant. When you find out you're pregnant, who do you tell?
I told him first, obviously, because I was living with him. And
what?
I took
See, that's
the
what I mean.
test.
But were you having sex with him?
No, not at all.
She was still in love with that dude, obviously, but she was just kind of like go back and forth.
So when she told you she was pregnant, what was your response?
Well, I was shocked and, you know, stunned at the same time.
How did she tell you?
Well, she just called me and was just like, well, I wanted to know that I'm pregnant after like early November.
It was late November, Your Honor. I mean, he was cool with it. For maybe like at least like the first 3 months, he was cool with it. And he would come to my mom's house, and this is why I say, right after I found out, I ended up moving with my mom because he was there.
Mr. Platt was there?
Yes.
So, Mr. Platt, you were present during the pregnancy and the birth?
No, not the birth. No.
I was there for like the beginning of 3 months.
So now, why weren't you at the birth, Mr. Platt?
It's because that he was there. He was at the...
Who was?
He was present at the hospital.
He was.
You know what I mean? I wasn't trying
Your ex came to the hospital when you had the baby?
I talked to Mr. Platt the day before I had my daughter. He was thinking that it wasn't his baby. The other guy didn't show up until 7 o'clock that night. He stayed the 3 days in the hospital with me. But he also knew that he was not the father. And he said right then and there, I don't care if I'm not her father, I'm still going to be here for her. And still to this day, he is.
She's 3 years old?
Still to this day is. See, I don't understand that she's saying still to this day he is, but she said that, oh, he's not supposed to have no ties
because,
to her.
Your Honor, I don't
so you've been lying to me then?
No, he wasn't willing to step up and take that place. You know what I'm saying? So another man did.
I stepped up for the past year and a half, and she's still letting the dude see him. Like, dude see her. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
And I've been doing rent and everything.
You say for the past year and a half? Well, she's 3. What happened to the first?
Because the first year and a half, I told you, like, I fell back. I fell back on that because, like, I'm not gonna deal with the drama.
What was the drama?
With me and the dude that she was with before. So it was like...
Why do you have friction with the other guy? Why are you all even in the same place at the same time?
Because, I don't know, like, she would invite me over at the time, and then I would still go over there.
Wait Wait a minute now.
Him to come in the house.
That's what I'm saying.
This is sounding ridiculous. Why are we acting like this guy is like he's like a ghost just lurking around all the time? I mean, no, really. I mean, he's coming around for a reason. You all are entertaining him.
Yeah, that's why, I'm sick and tired. Like, I didn't know that she was still doing that to this day. And she want to say dad to him and say stuff like that and then say it to me. Like, that hurts my feelings,
What does she call daddy?
She calls Mr. Platt dad because the other guy was gonna have him and his family were throwing her a party, and I didn't know anything about this. I found out about this.
The other man and his family threw your daughter a birthday party.
They threw her a birthday party
without you,
without me even knowing anything.
Supposedly, and she was with her the whole day.
No, I wasn't. Your Honor, I was at work.
This doesn't even sound right.
She was with him the whole day.
I was at work, so how was I supposed to know?
And it's confusing, and I don't, you know what I mean? That's where
this doesn't sound right.
And then it happened again. Like,
it don't sound right because I'm telling him I was at work, so how was I supposed to know?
No.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Who does she think this other guy is? What does she call him?
Sometimes she calls me the dad, and then sometimes
she calls him by his name, Your Honor.
Like she goes wishy-washy. Oh no, she said dad the other day.
The other day she did.
On Monday, she said that.
The other day she did, Your Honor.
The other day she called the other guy dad.
Yeah,
like,
and that's why I was freaking out.
At this point, she's probably confused.
No, yes.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, I know she's confused.
Right.
Yeah. And
how much time do you spend with her, Mr. Platt?
Well, I work Monday through Friday.
Don't stutter now.
No, I'm not stuttering.
You've been talking. How much time do you spend with her?
Well, they've been staying with me basically off and on for a year and a half, and I spend all the time. I got her, like she wasn't working.
They've been living with you off and on for the year and a half.
Well, basically almost a year and a half, but I have, I've been stepping up, and I was getting her gifts and diapers and all that. I'm doing everything and my rent and everything else on top of that.
But at the same time, you would do your part. You would take care of her. Yes, I give it to you. You stepped up. But at the same time, every time you would get mad, you would deny her.
Because she would get mad at me because I couldn't discipline her. And like she still does it to this day, like, oh, well, don't be doing this, don't be doing that.
Because I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
That's my baby, and it's saying it's my.
Until he lets me prove to him that he's the father, I feel like he shouldn't discipline her. Why are you going to
So you're saying if you deny her, you don't get to discipline her?
Yeah.
What is the problem with him being involved in her life as her father if you believe he is? What is that?
That's a good question, Your Honor. That's a good question.
This is unacceptable.
And I have pictures, sometimes in the beginning she would look like.
What are those pictures?
Oh, yeah, all of them.
Let me see all the pictures. What is this?
That's when she was, in the beginning, like I was doing a comparison, like she has my nose.
Step up to the monitor and describe what you are looking at.
She has my cheeks, but as far as in the eyes, like she has her eyes. And then the next picture, she's starting to change a little bit, like she has my ears still, but her eyes looks like the other guy's eyes, right here. They look slanted. And his eyes are like that. His eyes are like that. And then right there, it's like her eyes are changing again, so now it looks like my eyes again. And then her chin has her chin now. I'm like...
You just confused.
Yeah, I am confused.
Honestly, as my granny say, bless your heart.
Yeah, no, I feel ashamed.
Bless your heart. You just blowing up pictures, just trying to make something. Ms. Mora, what is going on here? I mean, let's be honest. The man is doubtful because you've got this relationship that's just ongoing with this ex. And and look, I'm gonna tell you something. That's that boomerang effect because you met her while she was in a relationship with somebody else.
Yes, I told her, I said a lot of it, well, it is, my fault. She had hit me on the social media site and then I just replied and then I started going along with it, just thinking it wasn't gonna be like that because I wasn't even doing no settling down at that time or wasn't trying to. And then...
Right, you with somebody else's girlfriend. Now you think somebody with her.
It wasn't even boyfriend or girlfriend, really. They was just living together. But basically,
But Your Honor, since day one, since I found out that I was pregnant and even after I had her, not once have I ever told him, you're not the father. I've always told him, you're the father, and I'm telling you, and I know for a fact that you are. And
only when a few times she get nasty, wouldn't say it.
Why is this guy still around? Why is this guy picking up this baby, throwing birthday parties for this child with their family? Whose family is invested in somebody else's child like this that has moved on with another man and had a baby?
That's what
It just doesn't make any sense. And I am all for loving children. I'm big on a village, but this village is a little weird. He's confused. I can see it in his eyes. I mean, even this little smile he does as he's kind of laughing.
Your Honor, I know the other dude is not the father because we've had so many miscarriages. And our last miscarriage was right before Anaya. And I lost that baby when I was 5 months. I was already in the second trimester.
So you were sleeping with this other guy?
No, well, before that.
So let me understand. In your court papers, what you stated and what you're stating now is when you were with the other guy and you were attempting to get pregnant, you could never, you would have a miscarriage.
Right, Your Honor.
And there were multiple miscarriages.
Yes.
So how many did you have?
7.
7.
7. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. So this particular evidence is definitely interesting and intriguing. I want to learn more about it. So I've called upon an expert. I'd like to hear from Dr. Tosha Rogers. Jerome, can you please escort her into the courtroom? She's a medical expert and OBGYN from Atlanta Premier. I'd like to ask her a couple questions.
To the witness stand.
Okay.
Right next to the judge. Watch your step.
Okay. Hello, doctor.
How are you?
Very well. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are here discussing a paternity issue relating to beautiful Anaya, 3 years old. And as part of the testimony, our plaintiff, Ms. Mora, talked about in a previous relationship having suffered 7 miscarriages with her particular partner. Can a man's sperm, or is a man's sperm, or how does it play a role in miscarriage?
Okay. Yes, it can.
It
100%. Especially if we have early miscarriages. Early miscarriages are usually due to chromosomal abnormalities. If it's what we call like a fatal mix, then a miscarriage will ensue. So yes, it can. But if it's been 7 miscarriages, likely there would be a problem where Dad would have to get what we call karyotyping to take a look at his genetic breakdown to see what is happening with him.
So is it anything to do with the timing of the miscarriage? When did you miscarry?
For the first 6, I miscarried at 3 months. And this is why on the last one, on the 7th one, I thought, okay, I lasted up until 5 months. I'm going to be able to carry this one. And after like a couple of months, or maybe like a couple of weeks after turning 5 months, I miscarried. I had to go to the emergency room. I was in so much pain. They had to do a DNC, and they told me that my daughter passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry. So, doctor, what I'm trying to get is a clear understanding of the difference of miscarrying in the first trimester very early on and the fact that she carried this baby almost to 5 months. How does that exclude this other gentleman as a possibility, or does it?
It cannot. It cannot exclude him as a possibility. We cannot say it was impossible unless we would know that there was a type of genetic disorder, unless Dad had been evaluated, or what we do karyotype evaluation. So there's no 100% certainty to say that he can't be the father of the baby.
Okay. So after hearing this testimony, Mr. Platt, what do you think?
Like, I don't know the proof of how many miscarriages, you know? Like, I'm not saying I don't believe it, but I'm saying it still always can be a possibility, if, you know, if anything.
And this is why we're here today. And I'm gonna show him that I was telling him the truth the whole time.
All right, well, let's go to the results. Jerome?
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Mora versus Platt, do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. When it comes to 3-year-old Anaya Mora, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Platt, you are the father.
I'm sorry.
You can stand together if you like.
I told you.
I'm sorry.
We've gone through so many arguments because he didn't think that she was his, and I would tell him every time, she's yours, and he just denied it.
3 years.
3 years.
3 years. This beautiful little girl has not gotten the benefit of having the full love, attention, protection, dedication, support, presence of her father.
Now that name can go on that birth certificate. It's right here.
How do you feel in this moment, Mr. Platt? She's a beautiful little girl.
I feel relieved and more calm and more at ease.
You all, as her parents, because that's what we've decided today, you need to set a course for her life. A direction where you work together, co-captains. Do you understand? We don't need no third mate in the picture giving directions to. I'm serious. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you've got to clear that part of your life up, Miss Mora. Mr. Platt, I want you to continue to step up and embrace your daughter the way you should. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I wish you the very best of luck. Court is adjourned.